I have to say hi.
Say hi.
Hello, Toni.
Hey, Mal. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you. So we are starting a new format. So we're just going to jump right into the topic. Today, we are going to be talking about a recent trip I took to Alaska. Going there made me think of a lot of the pros and cons of being a tourist in your own country. So I just wanted to put together some thoughts that I had after the trip. Yeah, so I want to talk about the feelings that come up.
Being giddy in Giddyland, basically.
Basically, yes. I want to talk about the weather that I experienced there, the language and cultural barriers or differences that I noted, and then cons. So the prices of everything, the food quality. I went on a cruise when I was there. So that was my first time doing that, and it was interesting.
Wait, your first time in your life on a cruise?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that's crazy.
And just overall safety, like how I felt in general. I want to start with the pros. So my first thought came from a boat tour that I did in a national park. There's a lot of national parks in Alaska. And our tour guide was an old man that had been doing it for like 30 years. It was funny because in the beginning, he introduced himself and was like, I don't know where you're coming from, but maybe you're from Europe where there's buildings super old and everything has a rich history. You're not going to find that here, basically, is what he was saying, because our country is so new. But he was very proud of the fact that there's so much wildlife and beauty in the US. And it really struck me because I was like, I guess that's true. Like, I feel that the US has so much variety in terms of landscapes and everything that maybe other countries don't have. I don't know if Norway is the same, but Spain for me is not that varied.
A general observation would be the US has the same variety of landscapes as the entirety of Europe combined.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I guess so.
Like if you go to the very south of Florida and then you go to the very top of Alaska and then you go all the way over to Hawaii.
Such different everything. I mean, especially climate and weather and the people and everything. But I don't know. I guess it's not something I valued before, like when I was living there. I guess I didn't value all the different climates and all the different animals that you can see there.
But are you a hiking person? Are you a wildlife person? Did you spend a lot of time like camping on weekends or on holidays growing up?
Well, I grew up in the Midwest and there was not a lot of variety there. But in California, there's a little bit of everything. There's a lot of camping, a lot of outdoor life. I would say in general, I'm a very outdoorsy person. And in Spain, since moving to Spain, I have not been an outdoorsy person. But then going back, it was just like, I don't know, shocking to me. I don't know, it struck me, I guess, just seeing all the different things you can see. And I just found myself thinking, you can't find this in Spain.
Are we referring to Alaska specifically? Things that you saw there?
Yes, because it's one of the only states I've never been to. Probably, I think I've been to every other state.
Really? All 50 states?
Not living, but just visiting.
Yeah.
And there's some, like Texas, I've never really visited much. But I guess what I'm trying to say is Alaska is just very impressive to me, and it made me feel proud of my country, which I've never felt before. One thing, which I don't know how familiar you are with glaciers, but we saw a lot of glaciers there, and it was really sad to see. They did a lot of comparing how quickly it disintegrates, like it melts, and it's like they would say like, oh, we're standing here and there's nothing, but 10 years ago it was a huge block of ice.
I've been to a few glaciers in Norway. There's one called Olden, and I once saw a time lapse that showed a span of, I guess, 20 plus years, and a lot has changed. And I saw that time lapse 10 years ago. So we can probably add like another 10 years where it's like even smaller.
It's kind of devastating. That impacted me a lot. And then the salmon, Alaska is really known for their salmon, which I'm sure.
Really? Oh,
I
how
basically
good
went to
is it
Norway.
compared? Yeah, exactly. Like
It's
how is
really good.
it better than the one in Mercadona?
I would have to say yes.
God.
I tried a lot of salmon when I was there, and
Mm.
it's just different, I think. The fish are smaller.
Do they boil it? Do they fry it? Do they eat it as a sashimi?
I had it mostly pan fried. I'm sure they do it in every single way, but mostly just cooked on the stovetop.
And then vegetables and potato and stuff on the side, or
Yeah. But what was interesting to me was the like, and I don't know if it's the same in Norway, but how the lifespan of the salmon. Do you know how, the lifespan? I sound like a total science, like animal lover nerd, but I think that's just a result of going to this place.
are we talking about factory salmon or salmon in the wild?
No, wild.
Okay, I've Googled it, but I'm going to put my hand over the screen so I don't get the answer. I have no idea. Wild salmon, I'm going to say a lifespan of less than 2 years.
Yes, but I'm not talking about the timeline, just like how the story of it.
Oh, how they go and do their thing and then they go up the
Yeah, yeah.
river. Yeah.
Yes, yes. So you do know it.
The outline. Don't ask me any technical questions.
Well,
I know they go jumping. That's what I know.
They come from the ocean and then they swim up against the current, and then so they spend their whole like half of their life. If their lifespan is 2 years, they spend a whole year traveling against the current
Mhm.
to, as far up as they can go to lay their eggs, and then they die. They don't eat the entire way from the ocean to where they go to lay their eggs, and they always go back to the same place.
I'm pretty sure I've seen a lot of videos growing up of bears trying to catch the salmon in rivers
Yeah.
in Alaska.
Are all the salmon in Norway not in the wild? Are they all in factories?
Obviously, there's salmon in the wild, but the majority, I guess, comes from factories. Again, no data. So this is just my general observation that there are factories, and most people that you talk to, they eat the salmon from a factory. When I say factory, I'm referring to a fish farm.
They're very controlled, very.
Yeah, exactly. By the way, Norwegian salmon, which is Atlantic salmon, according to Google, lives for 5 to 8 years, though they can live up to 13 years in rare cases. I guess those are the slow
Wow.
swimmers.
So they have the same history where they go from the ocean to the river?
I guess. This is not a fish podcast, Mal. Don't ask such hard questions.
They don't teach you that in school?
It's been a while since I've been to school.
Oh, that's true. No, I just thought it was interesting because I was sitting there. We had a hotel room next to a river, and we got to watch the salmon swimming upstream. It looked really hard, They were just sitting there like trying to make their way upstream, and I wanted to help them. I wanted to just take them past the difficult parts, but then I was like, you know what? If I help them, they're either going to die from lack of water, oxygen, or they're just not going to be as strong. Like they won't live out their mission in life to have babies and then die.
Yes, exactly. I totally agree. Without any pushback, what is there to life?
Exactly.
Like when you don't have pushback, you get Buddhas, like people who seek out pain. Their job is to reproduce. So, like, what bigger goal could it be in life to swim upstream somewhere?
It was very symbolic for me. And then I also saw whales and bears and moose and a lot of bald eagles. And those animals are just, for me, amazing things that you only see in books or movies.
Like the bald eagles and the bears and the moose. Like the mooses, how big were they? I think they're like insanely big, the ones that are in Alaska and Canada. I assume it's the same ones.
Bigger than me. I have a picture. I have a video.
Did you approach one?
Yes. And then I learned that the locals there, they're more scared of moose than bears. So I'm like, oh, okay.
Yes. Like in Norway, if I see a moose, I'm like,
stay away.
100%. If you crash, the sizes are different in Norway, to be fair. But if you crash a car with a moose, you're the one in danger. Obviously, he's
Yeah.
gonna die as well, but it's not like hitting like a small animal and then it's like a bump in the road. No, your car will be destroyed.
Yeah, because they're so large. And I also learned something interesting there. When they have a list for when moose get hit by cars, they have a list where if you can get to the moose in 30 minutes, you can go pick it up and it's yours to take home and cook and eat. But it's illegal to sell moose meat.
But that 30-minute rule, that was kind of curious. Like in Norway, when there is a traffic accident, I don't know the logistics of it, but they do conserve the meat.
The government.
When things align, like I've had dinners where I was told like, hey, this is from a traffic accident. It sounds
completely normal.
okay. It sounded a ton more hillbilly when I
Does that change the flavor or?
I have no idea. I don't think so. I think you will make the same impact as if you shoot them.
Shot it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it legal to shoot moose?
Yeah. But it's
Really?
extremely controlled environments and rules for like how many you can shoot, how you can shoot them, when you can shoot them, who can shoot them. Like it is as regulated as it gets.
See, this is why I wanted to have this conversation with you because no one else can talk moose.
If I had my dad here on the podcast, he is a moose hunter. He has hunted so many mooses in his life. And hunting season is right around the corner. He's going to go out and hunt some moose soon.
Actually, yeah, I learned that too. In Alaska, it's going to start, I don't know when, maybe the same time.
In terms of like height degrees on the globe, it kind of makes sense. Like similar climate, similar time of year. I guess my dad, he would be up for going to Alaska and shooting a bit as well. But like he doesn't know the environment there. Yes, the climate is the same and whatever, but a lot of energy goes into just keeping an eye on what animals are in the area. Like my dad, he will even go and like chop down trees to make sure that they have food and don't starve to death. And we don't need to go into that topic, but too many moose, that creates a problem as well. The more moose there are, higher probability is that you will hit them with your car. So there's a lot of factors at play, and I'm not an expert at all. I just know that, especially outside of Norway, you see here in Spain, for example, it's like pro hunting or not hunting. It's almost like a left versus right political thing. And I'm like, no. There's so much more nuance to this.
It's all part of the chain of animals. Like if you kill too many, another population will grow.
It's the whole circle of life. Like it impacts the other animals in the forest and like the whole ecosystem.
Well, speaking of ecosystem, the weather there was cold, but after a summer in Sevilla, I was completely fine with that. And it also, I was in a part of Alaska where it was a rainforest. I remember you saying that Norway is really rainy in some parts.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I thought about the connection between the two climates and how they're very similar because some parts it supposedly rains like almost every day of the year. But when I was there, it didn't, it rained like 2 days of the 2 weeks I was there.
What defines a rainforest? Is it how often it rains?
Or the amount of rainfall, I think. The amount.
Because for me, whenever I think of a rainforest, it's always a tropical thing in the Amazons or whatever. I never think of a cold climate could have a rainforest.
I think it's the amount of rainfall you receive in a given period, a year maybe. It was not a jungle. It did not look, it was just like a normal forested area. It was nothing exotic, but I was happy to have not a lot of rain.
Mm-hmm.
We got really lucky. And then the big one that we always talk about is the language. Being able to just speak to anyone and everyone. I feel like it gets better every time. Every time I go back home, I'm like, thank God I can just talk to customer service or understand every nuance of what's happening around me. It's just very cool,
It's such a luxury. It's like taking off an 80-kilo backpack and almost floating around the streets. It is the best feeling.
And I actually have a funny story. So we were in Vancouver, which I know is not the US, but it's like a European US. It's a mix. But we ordered a coffee. My boyfriend was ordering. and he's Spanish for anyone that doesn't know.
Oh,
And
I know where this story is going, but okay, keep going.
so he orders a latte, which, by the way, well, I'll mention it later, but the prices were crazy. So he orders a latte and she asks, "Do you want it hot?"
Mhm.
And he goes, "A little bit." And she has this look on her face of like, I am so confused. And I piped in, which I don't like doing because it's kind of like crazy girlfriend. But I was like, we want it hot.
Yeah.
It was funny to me because here in Spain, a lot of, or some places ask how you want the milk. And
Mm.
so he was thinking that she was asking, do you want the milk room temperature or hot or cold? And in the US or in Canada, that is not, it's either hot or cold. It's iced coffee or hot coffee, you
Mm.
know? And we were just laughing about it for the rest of the day because it was just, I apologize because I'm like, I didn't mean to interrupt, but it was just, I knew what she was asking and I knew why she was confused. And it was just something that you don't, even though he knows American culture, he didn't pick up on it, you know? Is that what you were expecting?
No, but I would have thought the same. What I thought was going to happen was that he would try to order a cafe latte and then no one would understand that it's a flat white that he really wants. And then it would be like a whole mishmash there. That's what I was expecting. But I would have answered him the same because when I think, do you want it hot? Like as you said, the milk, do you want it like steamed? Do you want it like room temperature? I'm ordering a latte. I'm not ordering a ice latte, you know?
In the US, a lot of people like iced coffee. But we were in Vancouver and Vancouver's very rainy. So I don't know. It was a funny story and it's something that I felt kind of good about that I saved the day, you know?
Ah, it's the best feeling. You got to jump in and like, just chill, dude. I got this. Yeah.
But more funny than anything. So, next, the cons. The prices were absolutely insane. And I don't know if it's because I'm used to Spain prices now in the grocery store or at restaurants, but
Mhm.
everything was so expensive. And
Do you have any specific example? The latte, do you remember the specific price? And was it at a barista place or was it somewhere else?
so, lattes were anywhere from maybe $8 or $9, which
Oof,
is
$9.
depending on the place. We also do the Americano, the drip coffee. So that's what we only had a latte like once or twice to splurge, but most days we just had drip coffee.
Drip coffee. I understand what you mean, but I never heard the term.
That's what we refer to it as. And it's cheap. It's like instead of the $7 latte, it was $2.50 or $3.
In Norway, I don't know the differences, but drip coffee, as you say, or as we say, filter coffee, it's always cheaper. And people are more accustomed to having that at home, at least.
But half the price? Like, why would I pay $3 for milk?
Was it a crazy specific
Like anywhere,
origin
basically.
of the milk?
No, it was everywhere we went. It was like that. Food was expensive. Being there, I wanted to eat the local fish, but it was like $40 for a little fillet. You didn't eat for under $30, which I guess is normal in the US, but Alaska's prices are a little bit more inflated than other states, I think.
Are they? Because they're detached from the US itself?
Yeah, I think it takes a lot for them to get anything because it's so far. And one of the tour guides was telling us that you get paid monthly to live there. The government gives you money. Well, they just give you a stipend basically to live there.
So it's not like a reimbursement after X amount of years, you get something back.
You have to live there 1 year and then you start collecting the money, but you can use it towards whatever you want. And the girl said we use it for the electricity bills in the winter because of how expensive it is to heat your home. So the prices were a shock to me. We were like being cheap and we didn't want to go to restaurants every night. So we bought sandwiches and ate sandwiches for like lunch and dinner every day.
That's a great travel tip. Like I know it's not like the ideal thing one would picture, but a lot of days on the road, you can't go 3-course meal every day.
Well, and everything closes at like 7 or 8 p.m. there.
What?
So, yeah, for dinner. So we just had food on hand just in case.
Dude, how did your Spanish boyfriend manage in terms of like cenad?
We just made it work. Well, I mean, on the cruise also, we ate really early. A loaf of bread, I think it was $9.
What? $9? That's the same as the latte. Oh my God.
Which I guess if you think about it, like I would rather have a loaf of bread, but
Then a latte?
yeah, I mean it goes for
It lasts longer.
yeah. But I was just, a loaf of bread here, €1, maybe two. So the loaf of bread was like almost $10, and then the meat, like a turkey sandwich or the turkey slices, was another like $9 or $10.
Hmm.
Crazy.
I guess it's also a reflection partially of like salaries and other bills to pay there.
I don't know what their salaries are, but I hope they're good. And the food quality was not good. I mean, aside from just eating poorly, a lot of butter, probably a lot of chemicals, my skin was suffering.
Are you referring to going out and buying food at the supermarket or the cruise?
In general, we went on a nice cruise where they had good food, which I can talk about the cruise, but the quantity was crazy. Like the portions they give you there are big. And actually not even on the cruise. They kind of skimped out because it was all you can eat. So they were like, if you want another one, you'll have to order it yourself.
Is it then worth it, the $30 for the dinner, if you get like an insane quantity? Could you share?
Yes, definitely. And this is outside of the cruise, but one time we got seafood pasta and fillet of fish, and it was 30 and 40, I think. We could have shared, but I wanted to try both. One of them had reindeer sausage. The pasta had reindeer sausage, and I wanted to try it. It was not good.
In Norway, we have reindeer meatballs, and they're the best.
Really?
Yeah, I miss them so much.
I don't know. Well, this was a sausage, like a embutido, like a hot dog, basically. It was kind of dry. But yeah, that was my first cruise. So I went on a cruise from Alaska, the south of Alaska, to Vancouver, Canada. And it was a total of 7 days. No, 10. And we were 7 days on the ocean. And you were surprised that was my first cruise?
Kind of, but come to think of it, I've never been on a cruise myself because I thought I had like a 1 day or 2 day thing, but then I was like, does it qualify as a cruise or a ferry? And then I'm like, I'm not sure. And then I guess, no, like that definition of a cruise, I've actually never been on.
It was everything's included.
Yeah, that kind of cruise. No,
Multiple
I
days.
actually haven't. No, it's more like going from Denmark to Norway and stuff like that.
And you sleep in it, right? You
Yeah.
sleep there. Yeah. Well, this one is, I don't know if it's more popular in the US. I want to say yes. There's multiple cruise lines and it's just something. And then it's a whole culture. Like my stepmom's daughter is like a cruise fanatic. She goes on multiple cruises a year.
Does she go on the Disney cruises?
Yeah.
I love it.
I think she's tried a little bit of everything. But it's like a hobby. That's all they do for vacation is go on cruises.
What's the average age of people there? Because a couple of friends of mine who live in the same building here, they went on a cruise somewhere in Europe, from Italy, I think, to somewhere a couple of years ago. And they said it was just a lot of grown-ups there.
Grown-ups.
Yeah, I want to be polite.
Senior citizens. I would say the average age was in the 70s. No, yeah. 60s for sure. I was the youngest by far. Well, there was some kids, but we don't count those. There was like 4 or 5 kids. And I don't know, maybe I didn't see everybody, but you do see a lot of the same people over and over again.
Did you make friends?
No.
You had to think about it. So I was like, oh, maybe.
We were playing pickleball, which is like paddle, and we met a younger couple and we played against them, but I wouldn't have called it a friendship. We just played for a few games and then we were like, okay, thanks, bye. We lost.
Ah, okay.
So
Then I get it. You don't want to be friends with winners.
we embarrassed ourselves. Um, and we were pretty good. This couple was good. But yeah, I don't know. A cruise is fun. I think it's a one time for me experience, but
Mm.
it's just so nice to have everything included. Like there was a theater and there were games constantly,
Oh, really?
musical shows, comedians. There was a little bit of everything.
Like stand up?
Yeah.
Was it good?
I thought it was funny.
Yeah. Like I wouldn't expect Bill Burr or Chris Rock, but maybe
No.
there's some uncut gems there.
Yeah, I'd never heard of the people that were there, but I think it's like a niche of comedy. Like, these people have been doing cruise ship comedy for the last 20 or 30 years.
So all the puns are about cruises.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's so specific.
Actually, one guy, I don't know if it was a guy, one comedian was like, pointed to a couple and was like, "How long have you guys been married?" And they were like, 35 years. And the guy was like, 35 years, look around. Like, that's nothing. Look how many people are here that probably have like 40 and 50 years together. I don't know. It was good.
To be fair, like one comment, it must be like maybe it gets tiring, but at the same time, you get to work the same kind of crowd, which means you get to perfect your act and like
Yeah.
really hone in on what does this type of crowd want.
Of course. The variety is so small because
Mhm.
there's like a cruise person, a stereotypical person that loves to just sit back and do nothing and have all you can eat meals.
Yell dance, monkey dance.
So that was cool. And then my last con, I would say, is safety. The big cities that we were in Alaska had a lot of crime, it seemed like, and drugs.
Really?
Yeah. And I think the people in Alaska, like the natives, because of the weather, this is my own like gathering. Because of the weather, it kind of makes people a little bit, they're always locked up at home. So it kind of drives them a little bit crazy.
Yeah. Norway. There's some
Not to like make that comparison, but also one thing that my boyfriend noticed was every time someone had a gun, which I never noticed because I don't really like to stare at people.
in a holster.
There was a lot of people that were just carrying guns, and mostly on trail. Like when we were hiking, people were just had guns in their belt for bears, I guess, for protection.
Okay, yeah.
Not on the streets in the cities, but a lot when we were in nature, there was a lot of people carrying guns from what he said. Because every time he saw one, he was like, "Did you see that gun?"
I would notice it as well.
And I'm like, no, I guess I'm just a lot less observant in my own country. And we switch roles when we're in each other's country. That's something I would say. Because I just try not to make eye contact with people when I'm home. To wrap up, I guess I just wanted to ask myself, would I have enjoyed this trip if I was still living in the US? My conclusion was that no, because I think that my 2 years, almost 2 years living here in Spain, I've been able to see that there's a different culture and a different way of life that has a lot of good things, but it doesn't have everything that maybe you can find in Alaska or, yeah, I guess just Alaska. Because my home state, maybe there's not a whole lot to brag about. I just thought it was interesting to think about, like, being a tourist in your own country is such a weird feeling when you've been away for so long.
Do you feel like a foreigner as well in your own country?
Yes. Like, you mean this last time?
Mm.
Yes. But then people hear me talk and then they realize that I'm from there. It's weird. I don't know. Just not having an accent, I guess, is makes me feel secure, which I don't have here. That's basically my reflections after going to Alaska and just visiting my home country and seeing it through a different lens than I would have had I never moved away.
Despite not having had a similar travel like this to Norway, when I went to Oslo this summer and I met up with a couple of Spanish friends there, I did feel like a tourist as well. And I can relate to a lot of the things. It is really, I would say, fulfilling to have the opportunity of putting some distance and rediscover certain things from your own heritage.
I would have never said I was very proud to be an American, but this trip I was. Politically, it doesn't give a lot of it doesn't give me a lot of credibility, but most people don't see Alaska and get to see or go to the parts of the US that are not really accessible or well known.
Yeah, Alaska doesn't get the most attention. Although I have a couple of friends who have been there and they talked very highly about it.
I think it's the best trip I've ever been on for different reasons, but yeah.
I will make a mental note. If I have the opportunity, try out Alaska. And then I'm like, it's like Norway, except it's bigger and everyone speaks
Carrying
American.
guns.
Carrying guns, yeah.
Thank you for listening to me rant on about my magical trip, my cultural discoveries.
It's been a pleasure living abroad thing.
Well, thank you everyone for listening, and special thanks to Toni for having his adjacent insight to the Alaska culture and wildlife. Do we say adios?
No, plug the podcast. So we're on Instagram, we're on Spotify, we're on YouTube. Maybe we'll show up on TikTok one day. Who knows? But for now, those are the 3 platforms. We're named Spain-ish Pod.
Spanish Pod.
Spanish Pod, yeah.
Yes.
And
Google it.
Write a comment. If you're a mama lover, you know what to do.
Yes, follow us, interact with us. And if you've been to Alaska or Norway,
or both,
leave a comment.
Please do. Okay, now we can say the adios.
Adios.
Adios.